Brother Santino. Okay. You got the quotations of the other one. Okay. Ah, yeah. Yes.
Never.
Yes.
So can you tell me like some of the history of the DOT?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
did it start? The
Yeah. The Diocese of Torit started originally. Surely inauguration of the diocese was in 1983, August the 7th. The Diocese of Torit was a suffragan of Archdiocese of Juba. Archdiocese of Juba has just been the mother diocese. And until 1983, when Bishop Taban was made an auxiliary bishop in May, then people started thinking that the diocese is going to be created. And Torit Diocese was one of those created, then inaugurated in August 1983. And then Bishop Taban, being the first bishop, came to Torit. All of us came as seminarians. We joined in celebration. Then we continued. Torit was created with only 4 priests in a diocese. Now we have over 70. Between 1983 and in 2005. So between that year, then we have a number of priests. And then we have a few stations. There are few parishes. Now there are 4 more parishes added. And then there were also other challenges right soon after the creation of the Diocese of Torit. Then the SPL movement started with the diocese almost together. The movement started in 1983 in May, and then and the diocese started also the same time, but 3 months before, older than the movement. So now, since then, we have had a hard time. A lot of priests have had a hard time. A lot of parishioners, catechists, and so on within the period of the diocese until 1993. I left the diocese myself. I went out as a priest with the Father Darius to study. But otherwise, the original idea of the diocese is 8,000 square kilometers, bordering Egypt, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Uganda. And then these 3 countries have been very helpful to us in terms of personnel, those who help us, in terms of maybe easy access to any activities that we wanted to do, in terms of training. Catechists have been trained outside the diocese and so on. And the diocese is divided into 3 deaneries. We have the west, the central, where I'm talking from is central, then the eastern deanery. These have been all divided to make administration easy, so that in each deanery there is a dean who also reports to the administration, and then the administration together with the deans gather together and evaluate the problems and issues. We have a conference that meets in February. So whenever we meet here as a diocese, we then get issues that are not easily answerable to us. We carry to our conference and so on. So anyway, but that is about the diocese. In 1997, I came back from the state. I was made a vicar general. I worked for almost 2 years. Then 1999, I was made the auxiliary bishop, the assisting Bishop Taban. And then in 2002, I was made apostolic administrator. 2003, sorry, apostolic administrator. And then Bishop Taban retired February 2004, not 2. And then since then we've been working. He's still very helpful to us and so on. But then the situation have increased. Torit was taken in 1989. All of us worked outside the diocese at the periphery. We worked outside the diocese, tried to cover up, but the center of the diocese, where I stay now, was not covered at all, because our brothers, the Muslims, were within this town, and we couldn't come closer here. They are very resistant, and they do not like anything that's called Christianity. So that's what happened. After having done all outside the diocese, we made a difference. We struggled. Many of our priests, laity, religious, lay associations, all were part of the evangelization because they worked very hard out. But then we found that within the diocese here, there were a lot of other problems. The evangelization became very difficult because Islam almost got rooted here in this town. Then another town is Capoeira, another town is Lafon. So these are the three towns now we are trying to figure out how to strategize, how to work, and how to make it possible that we are able to revitalize and work. We want to again create some kind of a devotional unit, home visits, and then some retreats and so on, so that we can again come back to what it used to be 1991, 92, 93. So that's what happened, and the diocese is just one of the smallest area at the corner. It's so fertile, and but still is a part where we admire that God has given us the diocese at the portion of the corner of Egypt, not Egypt, Ethiopia, Uganda, then right at the north-south is Kenya. So that's why we survive. Otherwise, we have been wiped away from this diocese. But because it's mountainous, that's why we survive. Thank you.
What does hope in the Sudan look like after the war? What is your hope for the diocese and for the people?
Right now, the hope that to have, first of all, peace that that has been signed has become a sign of hope for all the Sudanese, because war had really shattered the families. And then the friends, there's so many friends, especially religious groups, that have come to help and work with us. These groups will be really a sign of hope for the people, because before we were the only one around, and you know, people get used to people. When they get used to you, they begin to see, and so maybe last time we worked with them and we tried to put a lot of energy, but have never been enough, because we are very few and we are local people. But now, because of peace, we begin to see how we can work together with other members of the Catholic faith all over the world, and then we have this time enough of them around. So that will be the reason to say, I think this is hope, and the hope is to re-evangelize again the people. Otherwise, we shall not go far, because Islam within particular towns was very, very, very high, and then we don't see right now where we can begin to break. But we know outside the town of Torit, we have people who have been very much committed to prayers, retreats, and the courses, and so on. So this is what we want to do. The hope for South Sudan now is the church.
Why is the Feast of Peter and Paul that we're going to celebrate, why is this important? What is the history of the cathedral, and how long since you've been there? And
the cathedral is stood all the times, all the signs of time. That cathedral has a lot of many important events. And today, as we consider it to be the celebration that we want to do, only dealing with youth as the future and the hope of this diocese, we want to surely to show how strong God has protected the cathedral. If you go to the mission area, where it's about 7 kilometers where the cathedral is, you hardly find any building standing except the cathedral. And I think this one tells you that really the cathedral has been founded on a rock. You know, since Peter and Paul has been founded in a rock, and it stood all temptations. And that's why I wanted just to go to say to God, thank you on that cathedral. Even if there has never been anything repaired there, I wanted just to clean the place to sit and thank God for having protected not only the building but the people, the remnant of the people who are here, the people who might have scattered and gone somewhere, people who might have very important stories to tell or events in their life to tell, but we want to pray all for them. The second part why it is important is to gather all the youth, the young people, to come together. Then we express some kind of a remorse attitude to God, and then create reconciliation. Reconciliation that will bring us together. Some of us were out, some of them were in, and then want to bring us together. We are just the same sons and daughters of God, of the same the diocese, of the same cathedral, under the same patron saint. So it's very important just to get together and then to make our children to know that there is no other protector, it's only God, and through such patron saint who are very, very